Hi, my name is Matt. I run Vile Dragons Gaming Channel. Welcome, welcome to a video. I would like to talk about the differences between Miramar and Erangel on PUBG. New map, new life. I'm pretty much going to refer to Erangel as classic and Miramar as desert. So that's just probably how it'll flow for me. I gotta say, I really like the new map. The desert map is excellent. It adds a lot, and I feel like I can spot people as long as they're not behind the ample cover in the map. I feel like I can spot them better than I could in the other map. But some of my friends disagree and find it the opposite, so your experience may vary. It might depend on settings. I've tried it at the highest settings, and I've tried it at the lowest settings, and I think I'm going to end up sticking with the lowest settings. With the highest settings, it's definitely a little harder to see people, but it does seem like there are times where it, I guess, adds to the world a lot, which makes sense. The old map, Erangel, I'm glad that they're still working on it and that vaulting works pretty well on it. I guess this kind of plays in the vaulting. Vaulting seems to work well on both maps, and it's very useful. In Miramar or desert, you can get on top of a lot of buildings, and that's where you'll find some of the best loot, which is pretty interesting. The buildings in desert, they're crazy. There's just like so many little rooms, basically. We joke about it some.
Seriously, whoever made this map just loves tiny
Yeah, I
rooms.
think that's the big thing with Miramar is the buildings aren't bad, but I think there's, in some of the houses, a bit of an overabundance of little rooms. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. It's just kind of feels like a hassle sometimes. Erangel feels like it has all these classic original houses that we're all used to seeing and looting. So maybe it's just an adjustment of getting used to the new houses. It seems like there's a lot of places in desert you can't really get to very easily. Or like drop to very easily. Like you can go way off to the west to some of these unique areas, but good luck. Because if the circle's on the other side of the map, you're pretty much totally screwed. However, we have found that military up here has some pretty amazing loot. And you can usually get a car somewhere along the roads leading up to it. These islands are pretty interesting, but honestly not too good. And there's always at least one boat, it seems like, or a shoe. Prison, the starting zone, is also quite a fun adventure, and there's always cars around these nearby towns. I really enjoy the new dynamic of having two maps, but it would be really nice if they could allow you to queue to a certain map. And I'm not just throwing that out there because I want somebody else to think of how to do it. I have a solution. Hooray, right? Okay, so what if each team or person could queue up to a specific map if they wanted, and they would get it every time. And there was also a third queue, which is a don't care or a random, which would just fill any slots if one was less popular than the other. So those would be the options. You either queue up to one of the maps, Erangel or Miramar, or a don't care, which randomizes you back and forth between Erangel and Miramar, or something along those lines. I could see it being a little tricky getting it right because you'd have to make sure the one that, I guess the random one, if there was a less popular map, like if everyone played desert, it would have to fill a lot more on the Erangel side. So they might want to just like figure out an algorithm that switches back and forth pretty evenly. I think that would be pretty cool. What do you guys think? I've noticed that the cars have changed. They used to be really hard to handle. They seem to have been balanced more, I suppose. Sometimes the rolls and flips are a little weird. They don't make sense, but hey, it's still a video game. I know they're trying to make it realistic, and I think they're doing a pretty darn good job overall. Well, between these two maps, right now I definitely prefer playing on the desert map. And maybe it's just that it's new, or that it feels like it's been built with a little more care. I'm not entirely sure. But I just find it a little more fun. It's like when you're looking at Erangel, it's kind of the same old thing. The same old rabbit jumping over a rock. Can't unsee now. You'll see it every time. It's like there are a lot of just open fields, it feels like sometimes, in Erangel. And Miramar has a lot more elevation changes, it seems like. So it's easier to get into Defilade to make plays. And being able to see people a little better for me personally makes it nice. But like I said, not everybody seems to agree with that I've talked to personally, so who knows? What do you think? I guess what it is for me on Erangel, it's like the grass, especially when you see like the crest of a hill. If people are up on top of it, they can just kind of crouch and they'll be mostly hidden by the grass, but they can see you looking when they're looking down pretty well. And it's just, I don't know, that annoys me. I feel like every time I'm looking at the crest of a hill, I'm not going to be able to see the guy anyway. Unless it's really far away and the grass isn't rendered, then it's fine. But Miramar doesn't really have that. It just has those rocks that sometimes appear and disappear and look like somebody's head poking up. So I guess it's like how the bush is in Erangel, where you always see that bush out in the distance that looks just like a player's frame, and you just gotta like stop and double check. For Miramar, it's those little rocks on top of the hills that just like look like somebody's head peeking up.
They can pay the troll toll.
Well, I would say I'm going to give Miramar a 4.5 and Erangel a 3.9. That's out of 5. So definitely a cool new map. Thanks PUBG gods and creators. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.